welcome back everyone. So now that we've covered how to create your narrative and selecting the right media for your audience, we're ready to jump into some production basics. So Moki, I think the first question that everyone has to tackle is, what does a production entail? Because it's kind of a conceptual term.
Yeah, sure. It's actually the same no matter what kind of media you produce. You start with your writing, and then you move to your casting, and then your production or recording, and then your post-production or editing.
Got it. So, and those, as you were saying, those are really not different when you go from one media type to the next. But I think one question that's always comes up, regardless of the media type again, is do it yourself versus outsourcing to a professional. What are some perspectives on that?
Well, you know, there's a lot of skill sets involved through all those steps. So if you actually have the skill set or you're interested in learning that, then I say absolutely go for it. There's a lot of low-cost ways to achieve that. People are shooting on iPhones now, there's low-cost editing software or free editing software to actually get started. So if you are interested in doing that and you have the time, I say go for it. You know, but then the other side of it is, you know, hiring professionals. There's a cost associated with that, but there's speed and high-quality production that you get as a return.
So I think what you're referring to with do-it-yourself versus using professionals, it's that inverse relationship between time and money. And I think it goes without saying that if you spend the money on the professionals who can do it, you're going to get it turned out more quickly. When you think about that, is there some hybrid option in the middle where I might be able to consider doing certain components of it but not everything?
Absolutely. You know, you can certainly hire some talent. You can hire voiceover, you can hire just the editing or just the shooting, and that'll kind of help you save some money so you don't have to hire every step along the way. And that'll provide, you know, better production levels, and then you'll be able to produce that a little bit faster.
So along those lines, is it an option, you know, and I think a lot of our audience would consider this, for me to write and cast myself in the content, to have that authenticity, but then use a professional production person to either shoot it or record it and then do the post-production?
I think you really want to stick to the areas that your core competency is. So if you really have a close relationship with your audience, you know, you may want to appear in the video or have your voice be on video. But when it comes to shooting and editing, if that's not really your main strength, I would say hire that out because you'll get that done a lot faster and probably a lot better.
All right, great. So now when you talk about those 4 different media types that we were talking about, audio, slideshow with audio, a video and interactive piece, can you give us a couple best practices across the board on these? So like AudioFile, what's a resource that you often turn to?
I always go to voice123.com to hire our audio talent. They have great people and they're pretty cost effective.
Okay, so slideshow tool for me to easily take a PowerPoint, convert it into media, and record an audio track.
There's iSpring, which is very popular out there. Even iMovie does it as well if you're willing to learn it a little bit.
Got it. And that exports it as what?
Generally it exports it as a movie file, like an MP4.
And then you're ready to use it.
Yeah, then you can upload it wherever you need to.
So now video, and I know this is your specialty, so what's a best practice, something off the top of your head that'll help people get their video production off the ground?
With video production, I highly recommend hiring for post-production. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's really time consuming to learn the tool. But 2, there's a couple of skill sets involved in that. One is obviously the technical, just the know-how of how to use the software, and that's something you can learn. But something that's a little more difficult to learn is the creative element of it. And I think hiring that, you'll find that you'll get not only better results, but faster results.
So I got a follow-up for you on that, Moki. I think a lot of our audience would consider writing and appearing in their own content, and then outsourcing the post-production like you said. Is there a best practice there that they should do?
There definitely is, and I think what you want to do is you want to involve that post-production person right from the beginning. Because one of the key things about moving from one step to the other is that integration point, and you want to make sure that it's seamless, otherwise you're going to have a lot of slowdown.
Got it, so get the post-production resource in right from the beginning and make sure they know everything you're going to do. Great, so now interactive content. What's the best practice on this?
Interactive content is an interesting one because unless you have a specific experience in using the authoring tools, I would always recommend that you go with professionals. You'll save a lot of time and your content will look a lot better.
Great advice, Moki. So in summary, we've got some great best practices and tips there. In the worksheet down below, you can download that, take it with you. We've got some recommendations and those 4 big components of a production outline. So download that, get to work on your production, and we'll see you in the next session.